I have the Lectric XP4 on cruise control at 20 miles per hour. We are doing a range test of this guy, just all out for as long as it'll go. I'm staying close enough to home that if things start to go, I can pedal back. And the way that you put it in cruise control is you hold the throttle all the way down. I'm not going to press it right now because it'll take it out of cruise control. Or you hold it to whatever level you want. Over here you can see. And then you press the minus button down while you're doing that. So it's a double finger thing. You got to hold it for like 3 to 5 seconds, and that engages cruise control. And now I don't have to check anything. So we are currently 2.7 miles into this little journey. And I've got my Apple Watch running it as well. So the Apple Watch says we're at 2.83. The Lectric says we're at 2.7. So maybe a little bit behind or off on one of those. Again, we're averaging 20 miles an hour. We're doing nothing but cruise control just to see how far this battery can go. And I'm going to give you updates at every 10% because that's how it drops. So as we go through this video, you're just going to see me pop in every 10%, give you a quick update. Currently, we've been going for 10 minutes. And let's see, the motor power is at 593 watts, 700 watts, give or take a little bit. And the voltage is at 51.4. We're using 11 amps, give or take. And that's what you could expect for this whole little thing. And again, I'm not using any of the different speed modes. So we'll see, I just cleared 3 miles. And that's pretty much it. Got a nice little mirror setup over here. I'll give you some tours of the stuff that I have on the bike as we go through this. But hopefully this will be very useful for anyone that is thinking about getting this bike. So we just dropped to 90%. We've done 4.7 miles. If you're wondering about like elevation gains and things like that, just something to consider. I'm on basically flat ground. There's a little bit of elevation gain. So kind of a nice test for anybody that lives in those kinds of environments. I already did a long range test with a ton of elevation gain. I basically went up and down a 200 and something foot incline for 26 miles is basically what it came to. It took me 88 minutes, then the battery died. So obviously I didn't have to use the acceleration on the way down. So it was mainly just like battery drain trying to go up, and then you kind of see it. But this is a nice little test of cruise control. We have done, like I said, 5.0 miles. The odometer, or sorry, the motor power is currently saying 480 to 500, 700 amps is still 11-ish, somewhere in there. It's kind of changing, and voltage is at 51. And overall, everything is going smooth. I love having this little Mi Chow mirror right here. This thing is awesome. Being able to see such a wide space behind me and everything is solid for everything that I'm doing. So if you're someone that's looking about a mirror or for a mirror, I definitely recommend the Mi Chow. That thing is sick. And I'll talk about some of my other gear throughout this video as well. Just things that I have like searched for, found work really well for me, and I'm happy with. All right, I'll give you an update when we hit 80%. We'll see how we're doing. So we just dropped to 80% at 8.5 miles and 27 minutes of cruise control. Overall, everything's going really smooth. One thing I will say is that this is a pretty controlled test. It's not perfect. I have had to stop at a stop sign a couple of times, but for the most part, I have been able to just go nonstop on cruise control. Now I am on a road, so the tires are probably getting their most efficient rollover or whatever, and grip and everything. But I think this is a great baseline for anyone that's trying to figure out, what could you do? What could you expect as far as like travel and charging and everything? One thing that I love to do, because I got this mirror, is just like give the cars behind me a thumbs up and let them know they can pass. I just check ahead to see can they pass? And that way I'm not, the slowest guy on the road just holding everybody else up. I love this Rock Bros bell. Super nice just to let people know you're coming. If there's anybody like walking or biking ahead of me, going a little bit slower, it's just an easy way to just be like, hey, here I come, kind of thing. Yeah, that way you don't have to yell at people and all that good stuff. I absolutely love this phone mount, this guy right here. Super simple to pop this in and out. I actually can't say the name of this company just because it's kind of hard to say, but you can find it down below. You know how to do that. And just love all of that. I also love this Ice Mule cooler. It's just a simple cooler bag, holds about maybe like 3 cans of drinks, a small lunch, a couple of water bottles, whatever. It's not super big, but it's just enough as a handlebar bag to be able to drop some things in, keep them cool, all that good stuff. I also keep a power bank in a hidden zipper pocket on the back of it that I can plug. You can see this little white cord running around. You just plug it into the Insta360 and then I have running power. You can obviously go straight into the TFT down here if you want to. The display has a USB out. I think it's USB-C actually. Let me see. Yeah, that's a USB-C out. So if you need to do that, I'm pretty sure it's USB-C. I can't see it right now, but I think it is. And then I could just run the cord from there if I needed to. We're not going to do that for the test today. So been really happy with that. I actually have my bike lock on the front of the bike where you would put like a bike bag or whatever, or a little basket. I went ahead and put it there. I just thought, you know what? I think that'll be a good place to have it. It's easy to access. One of the negatives about the Lectric bike lock is it isn't bendable. Like obviously it folds because of the way they designed it, but like I had a problem where I was trying to hook it to something and you have to get the bike pretty close to the actual thing because you're stuck with those little segments. So not sure how I feel about that. Maybe it would have been better if it was just like a steel cable. I don't know. It was interesting. I think like a steel cable with a bag would have worked just as well for the situation that I've been doing. So anyway, we're going to keep rolling on. I will let you know what happens when we hit 70% and good stuff. So we just dropped to the 70% mark. We've been going for 35 minutes. So I got 7 more minutes out of that. And we are at 11.3 miles. So not too hot there. Not quite 3 miles between those two 10%, between 80 and 70. Let's see what the motor power is at 600-ish, voltage is at 49, and amps are at 11, 12. I don't know if that even matters. I don't know enough about electricity and all that kind of stuff to tell you if those numbers reflect anything valuable. But that's where we are. This seat is kind of hard to still sit on, I gotta say. After 30 minutes on it, I'm definitely feeling like being on the seat. So I'm also heavily backlit for this little segment of my talk. And everything else is going well, you know. One thing that I really do love about the Lectric bike is how easy it is to fold up and drop in a car. You know, you get these ideas of like, okay, I can fold it up and put it in the car, like, but how does that actually work? We traveled a ton when I literally first got the bike. I have videos on the channel about some of that, but I didn't really show like the folding up, putting in and taking it out, all that kind of stuff. And what I will say is I got pretty comfortable with it to the point now where like within less than 5 minutes, it doesn't take nearly that long, but less than 5 minutes, I can take the bike out to the car, fold it up, put it in the car, hop in the car, and be out and about or headed off to wherever I want to go. So that is a really nice feature of the Lectric XP4 is just the folding. And one thing that I am currently in the midst of learning about, I'm just starting, I just went on Lectric's site, I read through all of their bike maintenance, it's one main page on bike maintenance and cleaning and everything. Then I went on Amazon and ordered all the stuff that they recommended so that I can do my own tests and things like that with all the different things to try and keep this bike in peak condition. That's the goal. My goal is to become a really solid electric bike person, just somebody that has a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, a lot of ability to help other people. That's the goal, to give as much value to the viewer as possible. And right now, I'm in the process of getting that value so that I can then give it to other people. We just dropped to 60% and we are now at 15.2 miles and we've been going for 46 minutes and 54 seconds. So overall, not bad. I mean, 60%. One thing that I did notice that was strange is I dropped down to like 19 miles per hour for the last little bit, but currently it's got me doing 20.3. So I'm not really sure how that happened, but as soon as I hit 60%, it kind of like dropped me down to like 19.7-ish. But now I'm doing 20.3. So good stuff. All right, so 15 miles to 60%. It's not bad. It's not bad. We'll see what it takes to get to the 50% mark. And this is the Unit 1 helmet. I absolutely love this helmet. It lights up, has lights on the front and lights on the back. It has a magnetic visor that just pops right off, which is freaking sick if you want to have that on. Obviously I have my hat on, so I don't need that visor right now. And it is a magnetic buckle system. So it takes 2 seconds to grab the little buckle. Oh, whoa, lost that right there. There we go. And buckle the whole helmet back on, just like that. Super simple, one-handed function, really love that. And it's very safe, like it's secure on there. You have to press both sides to get it to pop off, which is nice, all right? I will see you at 50%. We just dropped to 50%. We're at 19.3 miles and 59 minutes and 7 seconds. Obviously you get a little fluctuation there. And then amps are currently running around 10, voltage is at 46, and I'm doing around 19.8 miles per hour. Now, what I will say is the last time I ran this test, once the battery hit 40%, I saw a massive decrease in power output. Like everything just started dropping. So I'm curious to see, now that I'm on more of a flat ground for this test, whether or not the bike can maintain a decent speed for that last 40%. Because like, if all you can get out of the bike is 5 miles per hour after 40%, then like, it kind of changes the way you look at how you would go somewhere, because I've only done 20 miles. And if I suddenly can't do more than 20 miles per hour, that's kind of a crusher. So we will see, I'll let you know. One thing to consider is that because I'm able to stay on cruise control the whole time, I'm not doing that start-stop stuff that would typically impact the battery more, I would say. So just keep that in mind. But it's been a gorgeous ride. I'm absolutely loving this. Hope you're having a great day. And yeah, so we're on our way. I'll see you at 40%. We just dropped to 40% at 20.6 and 1 hour and 3 minutes. So we did not get very far before we lost another percentage. And this is my concern. I'm wondering if basically I'm only going to get around that 26 mile mark when it's just battery, whether you're going up and down some pretty serious hills or you're just on flat ground. I think because the hills have the downslope, you kind of you get to take advantage of that. You don't have to use the battery for that part. Obviously you're using the brakes more. But on the flat ground, it's just got to keep running that battery if it wants to maintain speed. And I think that's what I'm going to see happen. But we will see. I'm just going to keep ripping around here, and hopefully I don't have to pedal too far to get home. I'll see you at 30%. Just dropped to 30%. We are at 23.2 and an hour, 10 minutes, and 6 seconds. So, or 56 seconds, sorry. Hour, 10 minutes, and 56 seconds. Now, I'm still maintaining 20 miles per hour, which I'm pretty impressed with. The bike is still holding onto that just fine. Also, when you have cruise control on, I don't think I mentioned this before, there's a little speedometer that pops up right next to the battery percent sign. So that's how you know that cruise control is actually turned on. It took me a little bit to figure out where it showed up so that I knew that it was there. I mean, this is just fascinating to me. It's doing a great job maintaining that 20 mile per hour thing. I'm, well, I was at now I'm at 23 point whatever. And it looks like we're going to be pretty close to the same distance, which is kind of incredible when you think about it. I've been able to just cruise for basically probably 90 minutes. I bet I bet the battery's going to die around an hour and a half, and that'll be the end of our little test, and I'll pedal home. So pretty happy with that, but let's see how it actually goes. How far can we really get this thing to go before it dies? I'll be doing a ton more fun tests like this. The next test is going to be the Eco Pedal, Eco Pedal, to see how much mileage can this bike actually do when you're pedaling and using the battery at the same time. That's going to be a fun one. Very excited about that. So we just dropped to 20%. It was 25.9 and 1 hour and 19 minutes. So I am on my way, headed home at this point, because I don't know how much further we're going to make it on this little journey. We'll see what happens when we get to 10%. I got to let this car know that they can pass. They are good to go. So we have just dropped to 10% at 27.3 and an hour and 23 minutes. The bike is currently putting out 42 volts, 400 motor power, 8 amps, and we're barely doing 16 miles per hour. So it didn't take much after 20% to drop to 10, and now we've basically lost our speed. The good news is I'm about a mile from home, so I can easily pedal this distance if I need to. Like I said, we're at 10%, and we are on our way down to 16 miles per hour right now. That's all the bike is holding on to, and I'm very curious to see how it dies. So stick around, we're almost done. We just hit 0 on the battery. Technically, I'm still doing 9 miles per hour. We'll see how long that lasts. I did 30.1 miles in an hour and 35 minutes. The last mile and a half has been pretty dang slow just because I'm doing like 13 to 15 miles per hour. And I'm really curious to see how far this battery will actually take us. Obviously, if I was pedaling, it would be doing a little better. So I will be back in here in just a minute. Hopefully, well, it won't be any time for you when the battery's actually dead. So here we go. We just did it. We killed the battery. It is currently 2 hours and 3 minutes of sitting and letting it stay on cruise control, 34.2 miles. And it literally just popped up an error message saying there is not enough battery power for cruise control. So I just put the, I'm holding the throttle down right now to see what we can get out of it. But essentially it's, oh my goodness, it's accelerating. What? So I guess it canceled cruise control, put the error message there. Let me see if I can put cruise control back on. Oh, I was able to get cruise control back on. So error message popped up for like a few seconds and then it was gone. And we just rolled down a tiny little hill. I've just been going on like flat surfaces right now, but I'm impressed with how this bike has managed to just keep going. I don't understand how it's done it. It has definitely been slow for these last little bits. Like, holy smokes, this was slow. But it is what it is. I wanted to know how long this could go. And I'd say that's pretty much it. 34.34 miles. I am back on cruise control, but I have a feeling I'm going to get that error message again, and then everything will die. So, oh, look at that little squirrel jump into that tree. I'm actually going to stay on camera for this last little bit until we see that error message again. Shouldn't be much longer now as we roll out of that. That was kind of like a small downhill section, and now the bike is going to have to do a little bit. So currently rocking 6 miles per hour. The seat has actually been really nice over the last 2 hours. I've been grateful for that little seat. And then the front suspension has been amazing. So let's see. I think we're about to get that error message again where it says there is not enough battery left. The display is still on, so I don't know how much battery is required to run the display. I was actually kind of curious to see if that thing would die, but it's still here. And this is where the thing died last time. I was coming around this corner. We were heading back up. It's not really a hill. It's just a tiny little vertical, but it's enough that the battery has to work a little more. Up there it goes. Error code E006. So error code E006 kills the battery and says, you're done. You are officially finished. So there you go. If you were wondering about the, man, I'm still getting a boost though. Like I'm definitely, what? Man, so even after all of that, if I start pedaling, okay, I think it's done now. Yeah, I'm not feeling any assist now. So I'm gonna back out. I will say though, one of my favorite things about this bike is how it does basically turn into a normal bike. It doesn't feel like you're having to pedal an e-bike around because of its weight. It's only 70 pounds. So it just kind of, and the size and everything feels great. So that's where we're at. I hope this helped you. And if you have any questions, let me know. Come join Volt Cyclers. I publish all the information there in like readable form, so it's easier for everybody. And that's it. Let's rise with the tide, and I'll see you on the flip side.